Find out how there's concrete proof that the government stimulus spending keeps the lights on in Washington and across America, why nearly 10 million U.S. citizens could see a change in their stimulus payment debts by the end of the year, and the great news of yet another story displaying the need for a fourth stimulus check, as you know, as soon as possible after this. First couple of videos are absolutely free, so check it out. Also, grab you 2 stocks with Webull, and thank you so much to my patrons who support the channel for as little as $3 and get 5 articles a week, and also look under the hood of my investments. But first, a recent article from financial expert P.E. Moskowitz, yes, shows that government stimulus spending proves that the U.S. government will work efficiently if it's properly funded. He stated, quote, given our government's usual propensity to make everything from getting a driver's license to signing up for health care as hard as possible, as you know, the smoothness of many of the government services that popped up during the pandemic were nearly miraculous. I agree with him. He continued, quote, more importantly, they were proof that when there's properly funded government services running more effectively and efficiently than the private-run counterparts. Imagine if everything could be this easy, end quote. He also had to say, quote, the pandemic has forced Americans to really consider the most efficient and effective ways to keep people safe and healthy. And it turns out the way to do that is through massive government involvement and investment, end quote. I completely agree with the assessment at the current moment, given that when everything falls apart, people that are running companies are trying to save their own necks, and someone's got to step in to save the day. This time, it was the government. As for multiple rounds of stimulus checks and other vital disaster relief funds have helped keep the lights on for Washington as well as across America for millions of U.S. citizens over the last 20 months of craziness, because if they didn't do that, where would we be today? Meanwhile, the Department of Education Federal Student Aid Office recently announced a stricter set of standards for student loan services, which could have moved 9.8 million student loan debts to a new servicer by the end of 2021. FSA Chief Operating Officer Richard Cordray explained, quote, our action could be critically timed as we help borrowers prepare for loan payments to resume earlier next year, end quote. The new changes are intended to ensure a smooth transition for borrowers out of the student loan pause ending on January 31st, 2021. That's when it's over, which was put in place by the multiple stimulus package approved. Kevin Walker, publisher of the collegefinance.com, said, quote, in a perfect world, these transitions would be seamless to the borrowers, but it may not be, and so borrowers have to pay attention to make sure that for no fault of their own, they don't mess with the payments, end quote. With talks of President Biden possibly eliminating $50,000 in student loan debts for all Americans, stay tuned to this channel for the latest updates on when their stimulus debts will be back in action or fully forgiven in the near future, which is being talked about. It's being pushed. Many Democrats are really pushing hard for this. And finally, a recent study from the Capital One Insight Center found some very interesting data concerning the need for a fourth stimulus check and other important disaster relief funds, ASAP, as soon as possible. They found that the financial fallout related to the pandemic is far from over, and one of the best ways to take care of disaster relief related issues is to quickly approve another round or 2 of direct stimulus payments. According to Motley Fool, which is actually a cool place to read if you've never checked it out, quote, not sponsored by the way, quote, Americans across an income level saw a reduction of income or their income disappear entirely in the spring of 2020. During the entire part of the pandemic, in fact, between 32 to 36 of Americans reported they had less or no income, end quote. Hopefully, this new push for a forced stimulus check and other life-saving disaster relief funds can gain steam in Congress so that the new stimulus bill can head to President Biden's desk for a signature into law. See, hopefully that happens very quickly, because at some point when we come off a lot of these programs, we're going to start seeing the problems that will be exposed as a result of what happened by shutting the country down for like 20 months. That's your stimulus check, second stimulus check of your executive action and stimulus package for Monday, October 18, 2021. Thank you so much for watching. For sticking around, please leave a comment with your favorite end of year holiday. Sorry. Is it Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, or New Year's? Or if you have one of your own holidays, throw that in, whatever that is, whatever faith or whatever religion or whatever place you come from. I'd love to know what's your favorite holiday. Please stay safe out there. Take care. I love you.
You know, I've worked my off. I will die for my audience.
I don't want to be someone that they feel they can't touch.
People will call you out.
Oh, all day.
Yeah.
They call me out all day.
I can type in the search bar in Google, Raider